Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. My name is Swaglock, and here today with me for episode 102, we have Chicken, my favorite of all the poultry. How are you doing?
Yo, what's going on, bro?
Not much.
What's going on, bro?
Not much at all. I just kind of hanging out, talking about WoW, ready to share what I've been up to this week, all the fun jazz.
Which has been everything, man. You've been playing so much WoW. It's crazy.
You know,
I see you on all the time.
Dude, I've been pushing a little bit this week. Trying to do a last minute 3400 push.
Get that 1%, baby.
Yeah, because I was kind of going slow on the push, and then I took my vacation, and after my vacation, I had a whole lot of work stuff. At one point, I think last week, my wife looked at me and was like, I think you need to like slow down. You're like overextending yourself. And I was like, probably am. And feeling exhausted. But this weekend I've just been trying to push to get 3400. I'm at right now I'm over 3300. I'm over 3300 right now.
Oh wow.
But as of recording, it's Saturday afternoon. And I still need like 6 more dungeons to go. So
6 more. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I'm at the tipping point right now, where either I need to like bite the bullet and just start spamming any resil keys I can get my hands on, and not be like picky, or I need to step back and just go, you know what? It's not happening. I'm content where I got 3,300.
Okay. Yeah.
3,300 is a good rating. I'm content. And I just need to make my choice. I really need to make my choice. And that choice determines basically what I'm doing for the rest of today and what I'm doing tomorrow evening. And that's tough. Well, it's tough, right? Because I'm also I've also got like a band rehearsal this Thursday, and so I wasn't originally I'm filling in for another guitar player who is like away that week, and so I'm filling in. So I got to like last minute learn a bunch of songs. And so there's a part of me that's like, okay, well, where do I fit that in? How do I fit that time in? I got to like get some extra stuff done for work. My wife and I have been trying to go to the gym more, which is great. And then on top of all of that, it's really hard for me to decide to do anything when my wife is like sitting on the couch and I'm like, I could go sit on the couch and watch TV with her. That's great. So I'm in this like weird spot where I'm like, do I make the push? Do I stop? Also, too, sometimes you have to admit when you failed. Right, you have to admit when you failed.
Just say it.
No, I won't say that. I won't say that. I was actually I was in an 18 last night, and I actually felt like I was doing pretty all right. I think overall our group was running a little sloppy. It was getting late. Everybody was like super tired. Yeah. And so I think we were having some struggles all around. Like I think everybody's having a little struggle. But I was in like an 18, and I actually felt like I was doing okay. I couldn't pull quite as big, I think, as I normally like to pull, but I was doing okay. Which I think is a good sign. Right, the 16s I definitely was not struggling in the 16s that we ran, but sometimes you have to step back and just be like, look, I know the skill level is there, but I made the mistake of like waiting till now to do it. You just get scared. I just get scared, and I don't want to embarrass myself, and I get so worried. And every season I say it, and it's almost like every season I say it, and then the next season it gets worse. But I really need to get in a better habit of just playing with the friends. Like, I really need to get in a better habit of playing with friends. I think one of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing that is my wife really struggled when we got married. She really struggled falling asleep if I wasn't there. I think she would get really anxious and nervous that when I came back to bed, I would wake her up. And so she had a hard time falling asleep, being worried that she was about to be woken back up again, and she fell asleep. Now that's not really a problem at all. Like, I was gaming late last night trying to run these keys, which is also why we weren't timing the keys, because it was late night. And she was out. She was out like a light. Didn't even know when I came to bed. Right, like all totally good stuff. So maybe next season you'll see me, spending one night a week actually like running with friends, especially when raid season ends. I feel bad during raid season because that's like 2 nights I'm already like staying up yelling into the microphone. So during raid season, I'll probably be like a little more chill. But like once our raid team backs off, maybe then I can like make my big dungeon push.
I mean, I think that sounds pretty good. And hey, I mean, Keystone Mythic is pretty new. I mean, do you actually need it? I don't think.
I'd feel pretty cool though. I'd feel pretty cool. I will say too though, I did the Raider IO. I don't know if you did this season. Probably not. I don't know if our listeners even know about this, but Raider IO every season, like the last week of the season, they have this tool that it takes a little bit of time, but it will compile like data and info on like what you've done across that season in dungeons, and it's really fun. But I like it because it shows you who you played with the most that season.
Yeah.
And so it shows you like your top 5 people that you ran dungeons with. It'll even show you like how many times you ran dungeons with them. And so like the person I ran dungeons with the most, I ran like 27 dungeons. And then like everyone else was like 10. I ran like 10 dungeons with people. Right? And then I look at like other people's lists and it's like they'll have like 5 people on there that they ran like 60 plus dungeons with. I'm like, oh, dang. I get weirdly antisocial. And it's so funny. Like if you see me and know me in real life, you think, oh, Swag is always hanging out with people. But it's just not like, I'm like I don't know, I'm a fake extrovert. I just come across like an extrovert, but I'm really not. And I need to just get better. I need to get better at getting my friends together. A couple of the reasons why I think I don't run dungeons with friends and I tend to lean towards pugging. One, I think I'm always afraid of like embarrassing myself, right? That's always a part of it. I'm afraid of embarrassing myself. The other is that sometimes when I log into WoW, I'm logging in because I know in my brain I've set aside, and this problem with me, I've set aside time right then and there to do the thing. And what I don't want to do is log into WoW to do the thing, and then I have like 3 people that are like, "Oh, give me 15 minutes and I'll be on." It's like, no, at that point I'll just go do something else. And I know that sounds weird, but it's just like a weird like, no, I'm mentally ready to do this now. If I'm not doing this now, and I need to get like over that. Like I need to get much better at just being flexible. I think I used to be a lot better at that when I used to, but I think back then I just sat on WoW all the time. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, you totally did. You totally did.
I didn't have anything else to do, dude. There'd be times I would just like sit on WoW and walk away from the computer and then like come back and see if somebody whispered me and then walk away again. Although that leads us into a little conversation. Next week, bro. Next week is when 12.1 drops, and we're gonna get the Discord integration into World of Warcraft, which it looks like everything we thought it was gonna be. Right? It's basically like you tie it to a channel on the Discord server. So it's like you'll make a channel, you'll tie it to that channel. Wowhead has like an article of how they did it on the PTR. And so it should it should work pretty easily. I don't think it's available yet for communities, which is a bummer because I would have loved it for
like housing communities,
or even like the Warband community, right? So our in-game community could like kind of have some crossover conversation. So here's some of the limitations that they have found with the system. It says, actually, before we talk about limitations, to what I was saying, I do wonder if that will make it easier to like kind of stay in touch, right? Because all of a sudden you have like a channel and you get to see who's looking for stuff, so you don't have to sit in WoW. You could be sitting on your couch watching TV, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Timmy's playing a group together right now. Let me hop on, right? So that's kind of cool, I think. But anyways, here are the limitations that exist as of now. So messages from guild members who have not linked their Discord accounts will not appear in Discord. Okay, so you have to have like a linked account. So I guess the message comes from your account. So if you post it in guild chat, it will only go to the Discord if you are linked to the Discord. I wish there was a way that you could have a bot set up, and maybe they'll have it figured out eventually, where you can have like a bot set up or something, like the Warcraft bot, and anyone who doesn't have their Discord linked, it will post their message with like their name before it, like you would see in guild chat. I think that would be a good alternative, right? Because that way then you get to see the whole conversation. But then for those who are linked, the linked ones get to have their own account posted.
Kind of defeats the purpose, though, don't you think?
No, I don't think so. So let's say
it's supposed to be a tie between WoW and Discord.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like let's say Timmy's on in the guild, right? Timmy's on in the guild. He's not in the Discord. He's new to the guild, right? Not in the Discord.
Sure.
Wants to run a key. He posts, I have a +7 Scarlet Monastery. And people are like, oh, sick. That's a title range key right there. I want to run that +7 Scarlet Monastery.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Well,
and so he posts it, but he doesn't have his account linked to the Discord. So instead of posting from his account, right, on Discord, it just posts from the Warcraft bot to the Discord with his name tied to it. You could still theoretically then, right, like you could theoretically then yourself post in that channel and have that then go into the WoW and be like, hey, I'm interested. I'm logging on to WoW right now. Right. So like you could still have the conversation, right? I don't know if the account linked really actually for practical purposes. Now, the way it's set up, it does, but I don't think it actually has to, like technicality wise and programming and everything. I think that's an artificial limitation, not like a limitation that has to exist. But maybe they don't want to put that much effort into it, and that's fair too. Okay, another limitation, Discord users will no longer be able to send messages in that channel unless their accounts are linked. So that's an interesting one. Fair. Yeah, so like let's say you have an account on Discord and you have an account in World of Warcraft, but they're not linked together. You will not be able to post in that channel at all. You have to have a Battle.net account linked in that channel. So that's an interesting note there, which I'm not even 100% sure. I guess the reason for that is so that it has a name to attach to it once it posts it into the guild chat. And that makes sense, right? Because guild chat's going to require it coming from a player, even if that player's technically offline. That makes sense to me. I don't think there's really a good workaround around that, because it would have to pull your Discord name, and that wouldn't work, right? Because who knows what your Discord name is going to be, and all these other problems. So I totally understand that limitation. Unlinked guild members will still be able to see messages from Discord users, and unlinked Discord users will still be able to see messages or read messages in the channel. So basically, if you're in game and you don't have your accounts linked, you can still see the messages coming through. Even though you can't converse across that border, you'll still see it. And vice versa as well in Discord. If you are in Discord and your Battle.net account is not linked, you can still read the channel. You can still see the messages coming through. You just can't post in the channel. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think all that's fair. The point of it, to group the two. I mean, the first one's kind of like, if they could make a fix to it, it'd be neat, right?
Yeah.
But
not
at the
necessary,
same time,
but I think it could work. The other two, though, totally understand.
Yeah. I mean, the first one's kind of hard. I mean, you're encouraging people to use Discord to kind of link in-game to Discord. I understand it if you don't have a Discord, maybe you don't want a Discord, things like that. But I mean, at some point you might just have to bite the bullet and either get a Discord or say, okay, I just can't enjoy this feature, and I'll
move on.
Neither here nor there, man.
So that's one thing there. Another interesting element is in the game you like, how like you have like you might actually not know this. So you have like guild chat like in game. But you can also have like officer chat in game. So like we have like a different text channel for officers. And you can actually create multiple text channels. I think we have a text channel called "What is this?" ? In our guild. And I think Spell had just made it at one point, not knowing how that feature worked. And only the officers see it. It's the dumbest thing. Once every like 4 months, I'll post something stupid in there. That's like all it is. And but essentially, you could theoretically break the Discord chat away from your guild chat if you wanted to. Like, if for some reason you don't want them to be in the same chat together, you can separate them. I think by default they are. Yes. I think by default they are together. You just have the option to separate them. But what's weird about that is if you choose to have them separated as a guild, the Discord one cannot just go to the text window by default. I don't think. Or maybe it can. It's hard to tell.
I don't know.
This will cause any messages sent from Discord to be filtered to a guild Discord channel instead of regular guild chat. Oddly, the guild Discord channel does not currently allow messaging through the normal chat window. Right? So you kind of have to go into the guild window, go to messages, and do the drop down to the Discord to then respond. I think you can still see him in the chat. I just don't think you can respond to him. So it seems like it's just buggy. That would be my guess. Is it's just buggy that way. I personally would prefer to have. If I was a guild master, and for those who are running guilds, here's my advice. I would, unless you have a real problem occurring, I would keep them together. Keep your guild chat and that chat channel.
I wouldn't keep them separate.
Together.
Yeah.
Players aren't going to want to have two different channels that they have to communicate back and forth in. They're just not going to want to.
Yeah.
Right. So either they will just choose to always use the Discord one.
Yep. Exactly.
Or they'll just use the guild one, and the Discord one becomes meaningless. And most likely, they'll just choose to keep using the guild one, and the Discord one becomes meaningless. So I would not separate them. I would keep them together, unless you have a super hyper specific reason where you're like, hey, we're only gonna use the guild Discord one if you're trying to get into a group to do content, and any other conversation has to happen in the normal guild conversation. Maybe that, but honestly though, like. It's more fun because a lot of times, like you want more people in the fun conversations, and so to open those conversations up to the people who are like at work or whatever, bored, and want to respond. I think that's good.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I like that they're kind of just like putting it in one thing. I think I think making them separate, like having one guild chat and one like Discord guild chat, if you will. I think that's kind of nonsense because, I mean, you're right. One person's going to use, like one group of people will use always the Discord chat and then another group of people. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, the one thing that I do kind of wish they would have in this is just, I don't even know. Like, I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't like totally crap on the idea of this.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. I wish they would have like more channels if you would, but I understand like the limitations with that. But like that like really just makes it super hard and like I still think this is a great idea.
Yeah.
But
I will say though, like in terms of like usability, the in-game UI I think would be a nightmare to try and like have multiple channels.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
right.
I agree, but like I feel like that would make it so much better.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine, right? Because if you have one...
Yeah, I think it will be too.
Right, but you also don't want to overwhelm the conversation. And in-game, I would say in-game it's better to keep all your chat in one location than over multiple, because all of it's coming through the same window, right? So,
I agree, yeah.
So no matter what, like in-game it's all coming through one window. Might as well keep it in one text thread as well on Discord.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I think in the future you'll see it expand to communities and most likely neighborhoods. Yeah. And maybe the option to have multiple chats, like one for just general, one for maybe like specifically for raiding.
Yeah. Now they did say that there will be a channel you can link. Okay, I see here. It says that you have the capability to also link the Baron's chat into your Discord as well. So,
oh my gosh.
If you want to take the Baron's chat with you to work, to your mom's house, whatever it is, you can now, which is going to be really cool.
Stop. If they're doing that, they gotta make a raid channel. I just think a raid channel would be neat. You have something that you can use instead of using party chat. You can kind of record those logs in Discord and like analyze them outside of a game.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, instead of like, I think it creates like a notion that you can almost like save chats and like review them outside of the game and see like.
So here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
That is doable.
Yeah, but
it doesn't port it over. It doesn't port it to Discord. But our peers have been using that stuff for like a long time. So there are add-ons you can get that like log conversations. So you could log them and then save them somewhere or something. I I don't know though. I don't know if I want to log the conversations we have at raid night.
I mean, like I just use that as an example, like we're like logging things like that, like kind of like morphing, like I don't want to say morphing Discord into WoW, but kind of seeing them kind of smush more than just, hey, we have one text channel. I mean, it's a great start, but how can we smush them more into, hey, like we have a whole like subcategory in our Discord that's like purely tied to in-game chat. Like that'd be neat.
Yeah. All right.
But this is a great feature. Well overdue. Cool. I think we need to see this in more games. Like honestly, like this is hopefully the start of more games doing this, like Fortnite, all these other games, Minecraft. Like Discord's such an awesome tool. Like you got to utilize it, and voice chat. Like if they don't integrate Discord voice chat in WoW, or if they do, like, dude, that would be like game changer, literal game changer. Anyways.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about something a little odd. I want to talk about something. I think we've touched on it before, but I want to talk about maybe a little bit more in depth because there's more info that I have on this topic than I had maybe the last time we talked about. So there has been more data mining, decrypted models, and it looks like Chinese servers are getting an exclusive Varian Rin like transmog based on like a Hearthstone art design. And like a cool throne thing, like toy that like summons a throne that you sit on. Both of which are really sick, by the way. Extremely well done. You can tell the very Rin one is like very definitely like dragon-y inspired, like more like
that's awesome,
like an Asian dragon type thing. But here's the thing: we've talked about this before about the Chinese exclusive, right? And I think where we landed last time we talked about it was like, oh, you know what, like. It is hosted by another company that they have to work through to be on Chinese servers, and they probably have like designers in that company who have to work under like WoW's guidelines, but they can create content like not content, but like exclusive like transmogs and mounts and things like that. And I kind of just left it there, and I was like, it's a bummer, but whatever. It doesn't hurt us, right? Like it's not like Blizzard's using their employees to design these things and then not giving them to us. Turns out we're wrong. So the other day I'm scrolling X, the Everything app, and I see somebody posting on X, the Everything app, showing off some in-game models that they had made that they were like, oh yeah, I made these a while back, and then they were released for the like Chinese exclusive servers. This dude making the models was not living in China. Very clearly making them for normal Blizzard. And so I think what bothered me is like, we keep like we're the ones making, like, I say we as in like it's local Blizzard offices. It's my sub cost going to it, right? Paying to make these models, and then we're not even allowed to get them. Not even like, oh hey, it was limited at one time because somebody's like skills, like simply just like they don't put them on their server. And that like low key, dude, that kind of sucks, man. I don't know.
Yeah, low key does kind of suck.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like stupid. I feel like stupid, and I would gamble if I had to be honest. Like if I'm being honest, I'm sure they had to cut some deal because WoW was off of Chinese servers for a long time, and they were losing a lot of revenue from that. And so I'm sure they had to cut some sort of deal that like every so often they get like exclusive designs and stuff. Because we have not seen any of those exclusive designs make their way over to NA servers, right? I believe they have all remained. Exclusive to Chinese servers. Maybe like one or two have made their way over some of the mounts, but I'm not 100% sure if those were ever even marketed as exclusive. So, anyways, I just want to say I think it bothers me. I think I don't like it. Even if I can try and guess the reasoning why, I still don't like it. Again, and it's not like a skill thing. It's not like, oh, hey, they reached a rating that I didn't get to, and so they unlocked that, and that's really cool. And every time I see somebody wear it, I'm like, wow, they're awesome. It's purely just a simple, like, someone at Blizzard made this content, and then it was never added to, like, our server. Actually, technically it is on our server. My computer has to like install the files for it, which maybe upsets me even more. That I have to host the files for it, but it's like not even available on these servers.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard, and it doesn't necessarily like answer. There's not like a good reason for it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, we compare to Fortnite a lot, and I'm not going to compare to Fortnite today. I'm going to compare to another game that our Patreons got to figure out that I play a whole ton of, Pokemon Go. And I think you just find like in Pokemon Go, like if you play in Japan, like you get so much more benefits than people that play in the US. And it's not, well, for them it's because, you know, Pokemon's basically founded in Japan. It's basically a Japanese company, right?
Yeah.
But for Blizzard to do that just as an incentive to kind of get people to play because the market and in the Chinese servers just isn't there. I don't know. To me, that's just weird. Like,
and here's the thing though, is I wouldn't even say it's incentive to get people to play, because if that was the case, then they would make it available to us too, right? Like there's no win there.
Yeah.
My gut tells me it's probably a contractual thing that they had to write into their contract with whatever company now they work through. I think at one point it's like NetEase, now it's probably something else, right? But a company whatever company they're going through, because in China, for those who don't know, in China, Blizzard cannot just sell World of Warcraft and host their servers. They are legally required to like have a Chinese company do that work.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was thinking in my head before I saw stuff like, oh yeah, they have to have a Chinese company do that work, but the Chinese company is the one making these assets. Even though like every time I would see it, my brain would go, wow, that really is like pretty on point for like WoW design. Like I'm glad like whoever's the Chinese designer is at least keeping it within like WoW's design and not just doing their own wild thing. But then I see people posting and they're like, oh yeah, I made this for World of Warcraft and it's an exclusive for the China servers. I'm like, oh wait, hold up. No,
like,
it was this Blizzard team. This Blizzard team made it. And I think that's kind of what bugs me, right? Like, I don't know. Should I be bugged about this? Probably not.
I think it's fair.
But at that point, like maybe don't even put it in our copy of the game, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think for like server purposes, they probably have to.
Yeah.
Like for, I don't know, for the game code to match up, they almost have to maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure how that technically works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is strange just because there's definitely been things in the past, right? There's always things in the past that it's like, man, like the Chinese servers have these, like, why don't we have them?
By the way, there was a whole like classic game mode, I believe, that was like unique to Chinese servers. That like I remember people here were like trying to get like Chinese phone numbers so they could like make an account on the Chinese server and like play this like special classic game mode with like translators and everything, because it was like so cool. And it just makes me step back, because I remember at the time being like, oh wow, like they developed that. But then now I'm stepping back, I'm like, wait a second. Blizzard here probably developed that for them and then never made it available for us.
Do you think they pay like more in like server rights maybe? Like,
I don't know.
Like the Chinese have like a contract with them that says like, hey, we'll like waive your server rights, like we'll like host your game for free on our servers if you like do like exclusive source. I don't know, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, my gut tells me if I knew the reason, I'd probably be less annoyed, right? Like it's one of those things.
There's probably a reason you don't know the reason,
right? But also like, yeah, right, like maybe they haven't told us because it's not like a great reason, right? Because who knows, right? Like I don't know, but also too, like I just don't know, right? And like, what reason would not make people mad? Like, if they came out and was like, "Hey, they actually paid us like $1 million." I'm throwing up a huge number, $1 million to like make this alternative version of Classic WoW just for their servers, and not put on here. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I get that. That's kind of okay. Makes sense, whatever." But then there'd be like a crap ton of classic players that'd be like, Blizzard, why are you selling out like that? What the heck is wrong with you? You could have made this the whole time for us, and you chose not to so you can make money from a Chinese server, right? Like all of a sudden it become like a big problem. So I'm sure it's in their best interest not to tell us why this is the case.
Yeah, they don't want anyone to know.
But sometimes not knowing the reason just makes you more upset than if you did know the reason.
Oh yeah, it does. You're just like, bro, seriously?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So it's like a weird place. I don't know. It's just kind of like we don't have to linger on it much longer. I just don't love that it is like normal Blizzard making all these assets and then making them unavailable to us. Because if it was somebody at like the company that Blizzard has to work through making these assets and putting them in the Chinese version of the game, I'd be right. I could shrug it off and be like, okay, cool. Like they were given some extra permissions to make their own assets for the game, and that's what they're doing. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a bummer, but like cool that they get that ability to do that. But now that I know it's somebody at Blizzard here making these assets, that kind of feels different because it makes it feel like, oh, it's not that they have it and like aren't going to share it with us. It's that we had it and Blizzard wouldn't allow us to have access to it. That's how it feels, right? It feels like it just feels weird. It feels more like it was taken away than simply just something we never would have had.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's like a lose-lose, basically.
Lose. Everybody's losing.
What can you do? Can't do much.
Not much at all. Chicken, dude.
Boycott Blizzard.
We can probably move on. We can probably get into this week's news. I know you've got some things you've been looking into, some updates people are probably pretty curious about.
Yeah, so there's some big UI. Well, most of the stuff is revolved around Season 2. They got the original blue post out. The patch notes are here. There are a few things on the patch notes to cover. I wasn't aware that there's going to be like a whole like custom talent tree for perks in this new island. So that's something.
You know what? I always say, man, if I could have anything in my life, it'd be more talent trees.
I mean, I don't disagree, but I literally had no clue about this. And maybe I'm just like a nerd and I missed it. But like I read this and I was like, wait, this has got to be for like a dungeon or something, right? And then it wasn't. So I was like, wait a second, something's weird here. Like, I got to be missing something. But no, it's literally just for just because. Like, if you're in this zone, you can do this, and it's like, okay, that's sweet, I guess.
It seems like that feels like a borrowed power system of sorts, right? It feels like a more limited borrowed power system than maybe what we've seen in the past, where they're more like expansion wide. But man, dude, you know what? It's funny. You know, the grass is never greener on the other side, right? It just never is. Once you have it, you want to go back, right? And that's, I think, the whole borrowed power thing. I think the problem with borrowed power is now that we have not had borrowed power systems for a while, other than tier sets, players really miss borrowed power because borrowed power can be really fun and adds a unique element to the game and does so much stuff. But then if they bring borrowed power back into the game, give it a couple of years, and we're going to be like, Blizzard, we don't want any more borrowed power. Stop making us endlessly grind this borrowed power. It's funny how, like, it kind of swings like a pendulum.
Yeah, it is kind of these it is, right? So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And I don't think I'm misreading this. I think it definitely is like this new kind of this new kind of talent tree for just doing things within the Coiled Isles, which is neat. Again, I think it's a cool concept. So that's definitely something that I learned about today. I don't know if anyone else did, but
oh yeah.
Sorry.
No. It's all good, dude.
I had to like catch my breath there for a second.
Yeah, I was actually working on the talent trees yesterday for my ghoul. I was like reworking them, because when I put it together, I originally put together my ghoul's talents for Sand Lane, but now I'm on Deathbringer. Wanted to rework it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one talent tree though I think that's most interesting to me was the mailbox talent tree that they added in 0.7.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude, you can actually there's a talent tree for your mailbox where it like changes how you get your mail, the types of mail that you receive in game. One of the towns even like increases like gold sent by like 10%. So long as it's not like sent to one of your own characters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude.
Stop.
Talent trees are wild, bro. I've been updating my swimming talent tree, so now my character can hold his breath 5% longer. And when I'm swimming, my character lights on fire and hurts everything around it.
Okay, well, okay, stop. Like, please.
Yeah.
What? You are such a nerd.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways,
I've been working on that.
Yeah. Whatever you're talking about is obviously fake. So never listen to Swag.
Dude, that's not true, bro. I was working on my communications talent tree, where now when I talk to NPCs, they actually talk to me like a little bit nicer because I've increased my communications talents.
Okay, that's fake. I've
actually been working on my M+ talent tree, so now when I go do M+, all the RP is just a little bit faster, and the boss's accents are a little bit stronger.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend like you didn't say that.
You don't have to. It was actually genuinely really funny.
Okay. Yeah, so that's something. They're coming out with this, borrowed power, if you will. 3 new delves. It's kind of interesting. Well, technically 2 delves and like a boss delve, if you will. The new raid, new dungeon. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's one other thing that I wanted to kind of bring up. Oh, new endeavors. Oh my goodness. 4 new endeavors, which are like well overdue. Amani trolls, what are those things called? Those the kobolds? The kobolds?
Kobolds? Yeah, what about them?
Yeah. They're gonna be an endeavor now.
Awesome.
The Oharan centaurs and also the Tortellans.
I'm ready to be picking up wax, dude. Picking up wax everywhere in my player housing.
Yeah.
My neighborhood.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Dude, I haven't done any of the endeavors. Like, I'm really bad at doing it. Oh. What can you do? And then also the upgrade.
That's why our guild, or not guild, the podcast neighborhood, bro, it's struggling because Chicken refuses to do our endeavors.
Sorry. I'm pretty bad with that. What can you do?
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, and then with player housing, there's a bunch of new changes. We've talked about them for a while. Along with you can now get to level 12. I think right now you can only get it to level 10 or 9 or 10.
Yeah. I think it's 9. I'm not high. 9. I'm not high enough to know, dude. I'm level 7 on my player housing.
I think it's let me just pull up the game right now. I think I can look. Well, why isn't it telling me? That's kind of weird. Anyways, yeah, it's oddly. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong tab. Yeah, you can only go up to level 9 right now.
Okay.
So adding 3 more levels is pretty cool. And then the last thing that I think hasn't really been talked about, but just their UI, cooldown manager, all that kind of stuff. It got the update that I think it needed, where now you can display items, like including your health stones, like your lock rocks, potions, flasks, even trinkets now. I think that was a huge add. I think that was the one thing that it was really missing in the cooldown manager. Just huge add, in my opinion. I think it actually takes it to a very usable thing now, because that was one thing, like, you're just missing the fact that you can't even like my trinket's up, like that's a huge deal for a lot of DPS classes. They need to know when their trinket's up, so now that can be added.
Yeah, dude, they've been like doing a good job at like constantly adding more, especially to the cooldown manager. Some of it feels like it should have been there at launch, which I know I'm asking for a lot, but they also rushed the launch of it, so maybe they should have waited and gotten everything in order before they launched it. I think that's the thing that hurt them, man, dude. If the cooldown manager had launched in conditions and now, it would have been a whole different conversation.
Oh yeah, it would be absolute
Yeah.
whole different conversation. Because I think that's and don't get me wrong, I think releasing half a product sometimes is better than releasing the whole product. Some people would disagree with that just because it's like, well, if it's like half good, then I won't even use it, and then it's basically like, what's the point of them releasing it if I'm not going to use it? And like, I get that notion as well, because yeah, what is the point of them releasing it if you're not going to use it? But I mean, sometimes it's easier for them to test these things outside of like the PTR and actual game with it being like half usable. So I don't fault them, to be honest. I commend them for doing it, but now they're making the changes that actually make it worthwhile, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So anyways, yeah, there's not a whole lot of other news going on here. I think some other big stuff that's going on is just some general stuff. They updated the season 1 M+ scores. So if you want to get top 1%, you need 3915. If you want to get 0.1%, you need 4183. So I don't think it's out of the realm for you to get the 1% yet, if you want me to be honest.
Bro, I mean,
what? You need 600 rating?
Yeah, dude, I'm not getting 600 rating by the end of
Do you think
tomorrow.
we know? Do you think we know anyone will be 1%?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know our guild.
I know Calryu was really close.
Really?
Yeah. We actually have a few guild people who are super close. I could probably
that's
pull
kind of
up.
crazy.
Yeah, I could probably pull up Raider.io now. We can do a quick check of people. I can tell you. So what was that rating again that you said for the 1% title?
3915. Like, that is clear as day. Blizzard has released it. If you want to get the 1% title, you got to have 3915, which I think probably, what are we assuming that's like
20
in the range of
and 21s, I think.
Yeah, that's
probably.
what I was thinking, like a lot of the, if not all 20s.
Yeah. Calryu is at 3880.
Ooh.
So he's right around the corner. He can make that push. He's probably the closest one.
That's crazy. I think Travo might be close. I don't know. I don't follow Travos.
Oh, yeah, he
He's
might
me.
be close. I think Calryu has been our
well, shout out to Calryu.
Yeah, I think he's been our biggest
pusher. He's the champion. The WoW champion.
Well, yeah. So he's been pushing hard. I'm trying to think of anyone else I know that's been in that like 20s, upper 20s realm. But not this season. This season I haven't been keeping up with too many people who are like hard pushing.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to this podcast and you are close, I encourage you to go for it, man. Like, why not? Right? You're so close.
Do it.
Just do it. Like Swag. He's so close.
I'm not close. I'm like 600 rating away. What are you talking about, dude?
That sounds like a lot of butts, man.
I'm not getting 600 rating in the next 24
hours. You can always
hours.
wipe butts. What?
I'm not getting 600 rating in 24 hours.
You don't need to do it in 24 hours. You still have a week.
No, I don't.
The patch doesn't come out for 2 weeks.
No, it comes out Tuesday.
No, it's the 18th.
No, the season is the 18th.
No. Wait, whoa. No. Wait. No. Hold on. No. Stop.
Yeah, dude. The season.
No.
The season comes out on the season 1, or season 2 starts on the 18th. Patch 12.1 comes out Tuesday.
No way. Am I just a bot? Like,
yeah, bro, you're a bot, dude.
Dude, I for sure did not think that came out until next week.
No.
Oh, see, you nerd. I am an idiot. Well,
yeah,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry.
It's all good. But all that to say, I got 24 hours to try and get my. Dude, I wouldn't be panicking enough if I as much if I knew I had a whole week to still get it done.
True. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just a bot apparently.
I could do like 116 a day. But anyways,
that's pretty doable.
Yeah, but that's not. I have to do 6 over the next day.
Well, good luck, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I might give up on it, to be honest. We'll see. You'll find out next episode on Dragon Ball Z. All right, anyways.
Yeah, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of things going on. If you want, I mean, I'm sure we can come up with some good topics. I mean, overall, I think we can discuss what our thoughts were on season 1, since it's gonna, or even just the whole entire, 0.0 patch of Midnight. I think that would be a good topic to have. I mean, I'm interested to hear your overall comments, everything that came out, and what your thoughts are. The dungeon rotation, the raid. Definitely the raid, because I didn't do any of the raids. I literally did all of them, the final boss on LFR, just to get the decor item. And I basically just did what you absolutely hate. I went in and just slapped buttons and watched YouTube while I did it, because
that's
I
what
said
do
to myself,
in LFR.
What'd you say?
That's what I do in LFR.
I know. And I think that you don't like that. So
I do it though.
But if we're gonna,
I don't think it's fun. I don't think it's fun gameplay.
Yeah, no, it's not fun, but it gets results, right? I got the trophies. That's what I wanted, right?
Sorta. You sorta got the trophies.
Well, I got the ones that I knew I was reasonably gonna get. Like, I knew I wasn't gonna get the heroic ones.
You could have gotten the heroic ones, dude. Come back and raid with us. If you're listening to the podcast at this point, please leave a comment telling Chicken to come back and raid with us. I miss him.
Sorry, brother.
J-Rob was asking last night if you're going to come raid with us this season.
Who was?
J-Rob.
Oh, did you guys raid last night?
We were running dungeons.
Oh.
And he's like, is Chicken gonna raid with us again?
You were like, never.
I was like, brother, I think he is so happy to not be raiding with us. It's unreal. You know how much he likes going to bed at night?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Yeah, we act like it's a plight that Chicken is heartbroken that he can't be at raid. That's not the truth. The truth is he is so happy that he gets to go to sleep on time.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love it more than anything. There's nothing more that I love being able to go to bed and not wonder, like, is this actually going to be the last pool, or are we going to try to steamroll this? Or are we just going to, like, keep, like, dying to random stuff for the next hour? Yeah. And, like, that's not a throw. Like, I'm not trying to, like, gaslight anyone. I mean, it's just, yeah. I'm sure you guys got a lot better as a raid team, but sometimes, man, we just really just hit a wall sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, back to the topic at hand. What is your overall impression of Season 1.0 patch for Midnight?
Yeah, so I think Delves ruined everything. I think Gear ruined everything. I think Void Core, Ascendant Void Cores ruined everything. I think 3 raids ruined everything. I think Pit of Saren ruined everything. I think
oh my gosh,
Decor Duels ruined everything. No, honest answer. Joking aside. Honest answer, dude, it was a great season. I thought this was a really fun season. I don't know if they could replicate this season, because some of me wonders if this season was as fun as it was, because it did feel a lot easier than a normal season has historically been. It felt a lot easier. Some things felt more obtainable, which, where that gets weird is that feels really nice in contrast to what we had. But if it becomes the norm, I don't know if it will always feel that good, right? Maybe the balance is perfect. Maybe it's like, nope, they hit the perfect balance. I don't know if I'd say that. I think there's still more tweaking to go. But genuinely, I enjoyed this season. I had fun. I had fun tanking. I thought dungeons were great. I don't think there's a dungeon I really dislike. Algathar Academy probably isn't my favorite this season, and I do kind of avoid it a little bit. But I think back on previous seasons, right? So, like, the last 2 seasons, I hated Priory. Like, I just did not want to do Priory. If I
Oh
went
yeah,
to Priory,
was kind of rough.
I knew it was going to be a headache. I don't feel that way about Algathar Academy, generally speaking, because I think in Algathar, I know if we're going to time it or not within that first, like, pool, right? If that first pool goes well, then we're probably fine unless something weird happens. And if that first pool doesn't go well, then we just wipe and either leave or reset and try again. So the dungeon pools, like, I don't have an overall complaint. I thought there was a few dungeons I actually really enjoyed this season. Pit of Saren, I really like Pit of Saren a lot. I'll be honest, Mizara Caverns, I actually do really enjoy Mizara Caverns. I think it's a fun dungeon. I like the routing flexibility that you have as a tank. I like the pools that you can do. There's some really fun pools to do as a tank. You kind of group things up pretty big. I thought that's been a fun dungeon. I thought Skyreach was fun, which is like the exact opposite of Pit and Mizara, right? Like, Pit and Mizara are pretty like loose on like routing, and then Skyreach is like, nope, here you go. You got to route.
Like the complete opposite, yeah.
Right. But I think Skyreach was a really fun dungeon. I'm trying to think if there's anything I really, really disliked this season. If I had to pick one thing I disliked, and again, I think it contributed this season to being fun. I just don't know if like long term it would be fun. The more I think about it, the more I think that Mythic plus loot needs to be reworked somehow. I think Mythic plus loot is just too easy to get. I think it's too easy to get. And what I mean by that is like heroic gear you get from doing like 6s or something. You start getting heroic gear from the dungeon itself at a pretty low level, like a pretty easy to do level of the dungeon. You start getting heroic gear, and that would be fine-ish, except you can spam it for as much heroic gear as you possibly want. And I know that's kind of been the norm for a while now in dungeons, but this season it felt like the bar just got lower and lower and lower and lower. And it's made me just like think a lot of the future, right? And so again, that's something that's fun. Like sometimes when you turn cheats on in a video game and everything becomes super easy, it's really fun, right? It's like really, really fun. And then all of a sudden you just no longer ever want to play that game again. You know what I'm talking about? You know that feeling? Where like once you get the feeling of not having to work for something, you never again want to work for it, but also being given it to you just doesn't feel fun.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like in, again, I'm gonna like butcher this so bad because I'm relating it back to Pokemon Go. Like there's just like certain things in Pokemon Go, like being able to spoof and like instead of actually walking to locations, you can just like rig your GPS to say you're at a certain location.
Yeah.
And like people like that, I just don't understand it because they do it to get like certain rare Pokemon and try to get like a certain what they call a shundo, which is like extremely rare. And like I'm like, why? Like I want to get one naturally. Like I want to like naturally play this game. And I do agree with what you're saying with the loot pool, because it just feels like things don't feel like Myth gear this season didn't feel like the first time I ever got like a piece of Myth gear. It was like, oh man, like this is Myth gear. Or like the first time I ever got portals, even I was like, oh man, like portals, so fun.
Yeah.
Like a 10 just doesn't feel like a nat 20 was like a nat 20, like a natural, or like an OG 20 like used to feel like, man, I just did a 20, like I'm so goated.
Yeah, and I think there's a part to even what you're saying. Like naturally we do get better.
Yes.
But right now, in some ways, it kind of feels like over the last maybe 5-6 seasons, they've been like slowly turning up the like cheats. And that's the best way to describe it. Like the Game Shark got plugged in, the action replay was plugged in.
Oh man.
Right? And they're like slowly cranking up the like how many cheat codes are in there. Right, like you go into a dungeon and you're like, oh yes, this week I got 3 bonus rolls, so I've stacked up 7 of them now, so I'm gonna go try and run this dungeon 7 times, so I get this piece of gear that I really want on the mythic level. And I think the bonus rolls are actually really cool. I think the bonus rolls are actually really sick, but again, letting us get 3 of them each week. Maybe that was a little bit much, right? Like that seemed a little.
3 feels like a lot.
That seemed a little excessive. So that was a big deal.
Like,
but also, like, yeah. What were you saying?
Oh, sorry. It feels like I never experienced this, but like the vault, like people wanted the vault, like vault protection, like blah blah. Yeah. It's like they wanted that vault just to be able to have more chances at loot, and like I get it. And like as the game evolves, like that's just going to become more prominent because people like it's almost like timing. Like people don't want to spend the time to get good. Like they're like, well, if I wanted to do that, like I'll go play Dark Souls or something, right? And like that's fine. Like don't get me wrong. But
also, like if you want to play Dark Souls, go play Dark Souls. Like
yeah, okay, exactly, cool. Right? That's the notion.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things of like slowly, I feel like it's just getting like I even remember season 1 of The War Within, like tens did not feel like they were like a given to me. Like I got to the end of the season, like, am I actually gonna get all 10s? Like, this is crazy to think about that I might not get all 10s. I did not have that thought even once this season. I didn't even have the thought of, hey, maybe will I actually get Keystone Legend? No, I was like, I'm getting Keystone Legend. Like that's a funny joke.
You got Keystone Legend, I think, swapping back to DPS and like playing DPS for the first time in like 2 seasons. You're like, I'll walk in there and see what happens, right? And I don't mean like you practice. I mean, you literally walked into like the plus 13 queue with me. Like, yeah, I'll just DPS. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
I can figure this out.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out over the course of the dungeon. I'll grab something off Wowhead. But I mean, I think the problem though that we have is we're seeing and I know this seems like such a worn out topic, so I don't want to hang on it forever. But the loot pool, right, has progressively gotten easier and easier to get these higher like chase items, right? And we're seeing it now next season where you kind of have like the mythic plus. I don't know how else to call it, right? It's like the mythic item, right? The mythic item that's mythic, but it's higher than mythic, right? Because they're trying to now add that back into the game, find a way to get that back in there because we lost it. And what happened is I think you have this bad. People aren't gonna like what I'm about to say. Please hear me out. Don't try to assume what I'm saying. Actually, listen to what I'm saying. We have this problem where I think trying to add in more world and solo content into the game. They did so by trying to make it easier to obtain some of these gears in like gear tiers in that content. And then to match that, then they lowered the difficulty it required to get it from M+, right? But the problem is M+ also just like infinitely spams you those rewards. And so it's like, oh, dude, you have this like double whammy where like the difficulty requirement is down, but also it's still just like pooping out rewards. Like it's job to poop out rewards, and it never stops. And so that's like the problem we run into is like heroic gear is meaningless. And somebody's gonna listen to this and be like, heroic gear is not meaningless. It took me all season. That's fine, whatever. Heroic gear though, like you can run just 6s all day long. Like you could spend one day and get like a full set of heroic gear if you like really wanted to get a full set of heroic gear. No problem whatsoever, right? And then all you have to do is like go to 10s, right? And now you're getting like 3 myth track pieces of gear from running 10s that week, plus whatever heroic gear they drop. So now all of a sudden, in the span of like 1 week, you have full heroic and 3 pieces of myth gear just from doing plus 10s. Which, as you said too, plus 10s definitely feel a lot easier than they used to feel in the game. I just think, again, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is I think I genuinely, truly had a really fun experience this season. Truly, I had a really fun experience. I loved doing dungeons this season. I can say that, and I can confidently say at the same time, I'm nervous and kind of worried that if it keeps at that pace, that it will long term make the game more boring and feel lackluster and less rewarding, right? And that's where I get worried. I don't think this season was bad. Truly, I think it was a fun season. And honestly, next season might feel great too, but it'll probably feel a little less great, and then a little less great, right? And the only way they could bring that feeling back is by giga charging loot drops again. And now all of a sudden, those 9 out of 6 mythic items that were dropping exclusively from the last bosses of Raid are now dropping from plus 10s, because why? I don't know, right? And so it's just like, how do they recapture that without doing the same thing and progressing it like farther and farther? And that's where I get worried, right? My fear when Chick and I talk about these things, because I think that's where people miss what you and I say sometimes. What one of the things that we worry about isn't the what does it feel like today? It's the like, will this snowball into a bigger problem? Like, does this have potential to be a bigger issue, even though it's fun right now? So I'm worried about the future, right? I'm worried about the future, but truly, and I want to end with this statement, truly, I genuinely had a really fun time this season. I thought raids were a lot of fun. I thought dungeons were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed tanking. Tanking felt really good to me this season. I don't know if everyone else felt that same way, but I loved tanking this season. So yeah, that's my overall thought.
Yeah, I mean, I'll harmonize everything that you said. I mean, I do agree with the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything that they added from endgame content was good. I thought the prey system was really good. I'll try to touch on things that you didn't really touch on. I thought the prey system was good. I think they can kind of do, I mean, anything can do better, right? But I think for a first go around, I thought it was really good. I think what they did with the 0.7 patch and the 0.5 patch was really good. I liked the 0.7 extra islands, if you will, and doing that kind of like heroic like world tier kind of stuff was an interesting way of adding it. I like the borrowed power system with the omnifoils. Like, I thought they did a good job with that. Yeah, I think overall they did a pretty good job. Delves, they're still delves, right? They're not like anything crazy. I'm always gonna kind of gear with you a little bit, and delves are just generally the loot that delves gives probably isn't the best for the game. So I think you and I will pretty much always agree on that point. But the overall design of the delves, I think, were a lot better.
Oh yeah, Probably. I think delves. I will say, like, I had more fun in delves this season than I think I did in past seasons.
Yeah, I think the delves overall just had like a better feel to them. So yeah, I think those were good.
Yeah, again, and I always have to say this because I think people make assumptions. Whenever I complain, they think I make assumptions. I think delves are awesome content. I think solo content is great. I think there should be things that you can just log into the game and do, and don't have to have a group to do them. I think they're going to be awesome. I should also clarify, I think labyrinths are going to be really cool when they come out. I know we speculated on that last week. I caught some heat for that one. I think labyrinths are going to be really cool. I just thought it was weird that we haven't actually gotten any like footage of the inside of a labyrinth or something, right? Like, it just, I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. But right, I do think all that content's cool. I'm just trying to think, like, what is a healthy balance long term that like puts all PvE content on like the same graded scale of like difficulty. So whether you're trying to do it solo or you're trying to do it as a team, I think sometimes we talk about solo content as if like it's designed for people who just aren't as good at the game. And to some extent that there's probably some truth in there. But I don't think that has to be the case, right? Like, I think solo content can be truly enjoyable and challenging content while still also having easier options for players that, you know, want that easier option, right? Just kind of like similar to how you have normal dungeons all the way up to plus 30 and plus, right? So in the same way, right, like having that scale is good. Although I would also get rid of heroic dungeons because they seem kind of pointless. But maybe
oh my gosh,
another conversation. Swag hates everything. I'm a curmudgeon. Deal with it. But yeah, I don't remember where I'm going. All that to say, I did think delves were really good this season.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think this is probably the best point, or like, you know, season 1 of a patch I've been to. I think.
Oh, by the way, normally dungeons suck in a season 1.
Yeah.
So like, big props to Blizzard. And we might see dungeons get progressively harder over the course of this expansion. Maybe that was the plan, but oftentimes they like really suck in season 1.
Yeah, they're like awful.
Especially
They're like
for tanks.
heart-bearing, right? No, I think they did really good this time with dungeons. Like I said, I think this is probably the better one that I've been involved in. But I do think you're right. I think heroic gear is just a little too easy to get right now, and I think Blizzard should probably be looking at a way to fix that. And to be honest, as heroic gear, I don't think we'd be complaining if it was champion gear. It's the fact that it is heroic gear that's just a little too easy to get.
Yeah, it's just spammed, right? And I believe in a world where, right, like getting a full set of heroic gear actually feels like a cool accomplishment, and then Mythic can feel like your full season chase, right? Like that to me is beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I know there's a lot of players out there where like that they want the login day one, full myth maxed out, so then they just go do the content they want to do and not worry about it. But this is World of Warcraft, and that's kind of in the DNA of WoW since it's very conception, right? Is like this gear chase, and there's pursuit of slowly growing stronger and stronger and having hard items to get. I think you lose some of the heart of WoW when you lose that. Even if all you want to do is log in and queue up for M+, and you don't want to think about it. I don't care.
Yeah, I
don't care, dude. Don't break my WoW. I'm an old man. Don't take it from me. Don't take my WoW from me. Anyways, we're going to shift gears and talk about some listener questions. As always, our Patreons get priority on our listener questions. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, what is wrong with you? Nothing, actually. Nothing's wrong with you. We love you. You guys are great. But we also love our Patreon supporters, maybe even a little more. But our Patreon supporters are amazing. They help keep this podcast afloat, make sure that we are able to post new content every week, and working towards helping us get fully video content for the future for our YouTube viewers as well. Along with that, if you want to subscribe and help us out on Patreon, you can find a link down in the description where you'll have access to our live streams of each recording that also include a little bit of extra bonus Patreon content at the start as well for those who are interested in some bonus Patreon content, among other benefits as well. I also want to mention, our amazing guilds, right? Like we have this awesome guild. Last week we had Spell, our guild master, on the podcast talking about what it takes to run a healthy guild, the leadership requirements, and all the things that people don't normally think about, right? Like it's funny. Like you would think having a conversation about what makes a good WoW guild to be all about like how to build up a good dungeon group or a raid team or all this stuff, but really it came down to the values of your leaders. And that was a great conversation. And if you are looking for a guild, we want to invite you to be a part of Astra. It's an awesome guild, a non-toxic, social heavy guild that also does some raiding. We also do some dungeons, some M+, housing, transmog contests, all sorts of things.
A little bit of everything, baby.
A little bit of everything. We just love hanging out. It is a fun place to be. If you're looking for people to hang out with, even if you're a solo player, but you just like having a Discord to yap in, or guild chat to leave comments in every once in a while, or ask for help or ask questions, it's a great place to be. It is a great place to be. If you're interested in joining Astra, the guild that Chick and I are in, you'll see a link to the Warband podcast Discord. Jump in there and go to the Join Astra channel, and then just follow the instructions. Make sure to read them. Not everybody does. People like to click that button before they read the directions, but read the directions, and we'll help get you an invite into the guild. We would love to have you there. But with that said, it is time for us to jump into our questions for the week. It has not been asked technically, but I know in his heart he has asked it, even if he never typed it up. But Glocks wants to know if Blood DK will finally be meta next season. After 2 years of Glocks asking us this question on the podcast, Chicken and I can finally, hopefully, not be wrong about this. Yes, Glocks. I think Blood DK is finally going to be meta next season.
I mean, it was meta in... never mind.
Yeah, like early Shadowlands?
I thought it was like sort of meta at one point in Dragonflight.
No.
Really?
No.
Not even like a sorta like, like
Nah.
we'd kind of take a blood DK if we had one.
It's always okay for raid. Like it's always been okay raid tank, but no, not for M plus.
No, for some reason I thought it was.
That's because
Okay,
I'm just
disregard.
good, dude.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, dang, Swag's so good.
Swag's so good. He's the best.
He's
the best around.
All right, we got a question coming in from the real Swim Shady, and he says, "Does anyone have any advice for rotations? I'm playing a Fury Warrior, trying to grind through the end of Dragonflight and start raiding." Chicken, you're a lot better at like kind of DPS rotations. I would say even to, it's not specific to Fury Warrior, because I don't think that's either of our specialty. But when it comes to like finding a good rotation, how to like learn your rotation, what are some things that you have found to be super helpful?
Yeah, so in the past I've found different combat add-ons that I would use that kind of help me kind of like learn a rotation. Hiliki was a good one, but those don't exist anymore.
Technically, you have the built-in helper now, right?
Yeah, but it's not as good. It was never as good. Like it seriously was not that great because it in my opinion it just like highlights it, and you kind of got to look around where like Hiliki or whatever it was called would Hakili, that's what it was. Oh my goodness. It would always kind of like have a bar up on your screen that you could put like anywhere, where now you kind of have to like move your eyes and see what's good. I would always use something like that. There is an in-game option now. I think it's called, it's not one button rotation. There is actually something else. Let me real quick look up what it's called. I mean, one button rotation is fine, but I think that kind of teaches you less of how to play your rotation and more of just how to click one button. Assisted highlights, that's what it is. And that will kind of just highlight, you know, like a preferred ability to do next.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. But most of the time, I would just watch like YouTube videos. I'm sure there's probably a really good Fury Warrior out there, like absolutely goated Fury Warrior, that has a YouTube video up there that would say, hey, like this is a good rotation to do. And these are things like that. And Wowhead's pretty good too, but like reading it and watching someone do it, for me, I'm a visual learner. So having someone do it and watching them do it is a lot better than reading how to do it. But Wowhead also has some pretty good stuff for rotation. I mean, honestly, DPSing like is so hard. Like people look at tanking and they're like, oh, tanking's really hard. Like, oh, healing's really hard. Honestly, DPSing is probably more challenging because it's not like, and not like challenging as in like it's hard to DPS. I feel like it's hard like mentally because you're like, oh man, like I really want to be at the top of the board. Like I really want to be like even close to the top. Yeah. And when you're not, like it kind of just hits your pride and you're just like, oh man, like I'm trash at this game. Like I'm like garbage. I should stop. Mm-hmm. But I would never encourage that. Just keep practicing, keep trying. Literally, like people don't realize this, but like literally like timing things differently and like having precision down to like the seconds give you like better DPS. And like I know I just didn't have the reflexes for it. I just got lucky and played a bursty class and I could look like I did a lot of DPS and kind of get away with it.
Oh my
but
goodness.
Things like
you're
even
great.
that,
what are you
like,
talking about?
I mean, not very much anymore, just because I don't DPS very often. But like even like having like playing Unholy, like, and having like one button rotation like up on my screen to be like, oh, like what would it do next, and like kind of understanding a little bit of the current Unholy, you know, DPS rotation. Even then I'm like, oh man, like I feel like it wants me to do this, but historically I feel like I would do this, and am I losing DPS because of it? Like just things like that.
That totally makes sense.
Learning your rotation, looking it up online. Don't be afraid to steal. Like I feel like there's another thing, like people are like, well, I gotta come up with my own talent tree. Like don't. No, dude, steal it offline.
There are people who are way
Wowhead.
smarter than you, right? Like who are doing that.
Dude, there's literally no pride shot in just taking it off Wildhead. I don't think I've ever come up with my own talent tree ever. I always just take it right off Wildhead. Those are friggin' people that play the game on the daily, multiple hours a day. I will gladly take their advice. But yeah, just practice, man. That's really the only advice I could give. Just practice.
Practice makes perfect. That's really good. That's really good. Especially like with just like a target dummy, just sitting there and watching what you're doing.
Target dummy's good.
Yeah. I would also probably like watch and listen to, like, there's gonna be somebody who plays Fury Warrior who makes like some YouTube videos that you can listen to.
1000%.
Right, that you're like, oh dude, that gives me such, like, because they'll give you, like, sometimes verbally hearing somebody yap about something is so much better than reading it like in an article.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yep.
All right.
I agree.
Got a question from Squirrel Thug. He says, with a mention of the profession system being overhauled by Ian in the recent Q&A and the news that archaeology would be getting an update, how would you change professions to be fun and not a chore? For context, the idea Ian had was that crafting professions don't all need to be deep. Blacksmithing makes sense, but alchemy doesn't, right? So deep as in like how far the tree has to go. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, right? Because you could try to make like some sort of mini game out of it, but if you make a mini game out of it, then like the people who just want to do it to make gold, they're going to be frustrated because they don't want to play a mini game. They just want to sit there and let it do its crafting thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my quick opinion, they gotta bring it back to like the core, the core like campaign and things like that. Like make it more interactive. Like like I think they did a good job in Dragonflight, kind of making it like, oh, like now you can use crafting helm and like things like that. Like if you don't have an embellishment and like a crafted piece of like actual like armor, like you're at a slight disadvantage. And I think things like that, just making it like, okay, I need to like actively like make things for a profession to get through the core gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And like even to the point of like, oh, like maybe I need to put in crafting orders to do certain things.
Yeah.
Like it's hard because crafting or like professions is such like side gameplay, right? Like literally the definition of side gameplay, right? So how do they make it more enticing and make it more of like a main role story gameplay and try to like try to like tie it into the main story? That's difficult. It really is.
Oh, absolutely. You know what's tough too is I don't do professions, so I'm the last person to give advice on this. Although maybe I'd be the best person because if I don't do it and they want players like me to do professions, right? In Classic WoW, I always do professions. So when I play Classic, and I don't really level super far into Classic. I don't ever get to end game. I just enjoy every once in a while I enjoy the quiet leveling process and exploring old zones I used to love and doing those quests and just take my time. I'm trying to convince my wife to do like a little Classic run through with me on stream one of these days. Just do like a few weeks where we just level through Classic and just her and I yapping while we're leveling. But but in Classic I always do professions. The reason why I always do professions in Classic is because they're a little bit of extra work. Like they require extra work to do, but that extra work benefits me. So much, right? So much. But also the gameplay in Classic WoW feels slow enough that you always kind of feel like you're exploring anyways. And so the idea of going out of your way a little bit just to get some extra leather or pick up some plants or mine some ore, that feels very natural. Where like in the current leveling experience of WoW, trying to level a profession and level your character at the same time doesn't feel like a natural balance, right? And so like, and again, leveling my profession, I'm leveling my character, other than like to actually give me, because right now you get some good XP from it, so that's kind of nice. But it's just, right, the whole experience is so fast that it just doesn't feel meaningful. Where again, in Classic, right, like let's say I make a shaman and I work on leatherworking. If I'm level like 15, most of my armor, especially my good armor, is probably from my leatherworking. Like it's just been me like trying to, and that feels cool. Like it actually feels cooler when my armor I'm wearing is armor I made for myself, rather than because I did a quest and got a piece of gear from somebody. Like it's just like, oh, I'm gearing myself up. I gotta go kill some zebras and make my gear. but in terms of like modern WoW, that's the tricky part. Is modern WoW is different in that regard, and they're afraid to make like your strong gear from your embellishments. My only argument would be embellished gear should be ranked up higher than it is. That's probably my one annoyance, is like if embellishment gear is better than a 6 out of 6 piece of gear, then they should be the same eye level as a 6 out of 6 piece of gear and not like a lower eye level. That's always like funny to me. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's such a non-issue. It's really such a non-issue. But because it's such a non-issue, it would be stupid easy for Blizzard to like change and correct.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I guess it's just that question of like, I don't know how to explain it, but right now it feels like professions exist purely for gold making, which they kind of always have. And sometimes that's okay. Maybe the thing in the game that's supposed to feel like a job isn't supposed to be the most fun thing, right? But again, it's a game, and we play to get away, so we want to have fun. The honest answer to those, I don't know. I don't know what would make professions feel less like a chore. I really couldn't tell you. It's hard to explain unless you could find a way where doing your professions feels like it can live alongside your experience of the game. That's where it's hard, right? So like when the experience of the game was exploring zones and trudging about and slowly doing a quest and turning the quest in after you killed 10 boards in the cave, and then the next quest tells you go kill 15 boards in that same cave, and then the next quest tells you go back to that cave and kill the mother of the boards, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Right, and when you're doing that, like it feels very natural to mine. And right now we're like speeding through zones, and we're on like a very singularized quest line, and every time we pick up a quest, we have to hop on our mount and we fly the 10 feet we need to get to the next quest spot. It's just like professions feel like, I don't know, professions feel like they exist for a world that has long since gone.
And
so how do you so how do you make like your professions feel like they can live alongside something? Does that mean that we should get like maybe like have quest, like maybe like profession hubs, right? Like, hey, you go to the smithing shop or whatever, and they actually have like different quest lines, and those quest lines are how you like unlock new abilities and stuff, and that could be cool. Like, I don't know, maybe you turn into more of a quest system rather than like a purely profession system.
Yeah, no, that's what I think they gotta relate it to some kind of story. Like it feels like it's almost, it literally is the definition of like side content, like literally the definition.
Yes.
And how do they change that, right? How do they make it so that it doesn't feel like it's side content, where it feels like it has a main role in the story? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Absolutely.
If they do actually revamp it.
Absolutely. But Chicken Dude, that's all we've got time for today. So we just want to thank everybody for being with us. This is episode 102. Episode 104 is going to be a little special, so keep an eye out for when that one releases, but we will be recording in the studio again like we did for episode 52. It'll be our 2-year anniversary, and so we'll be super excited to sit down together and yap about all things WoW, all things Warband podcast, and so much more. But that'll be in 2 weeks. We'll see you next week, though, with another great episode of The Warband.
The Warband.